Hello students, today we are going to discuss about cash budget. Cash budget is a statement where we are going to prepare an estimation of inflows and outflows of the future planning period. So here basically it tells about the cash position of a future moment or a position or a time. So here let us take one example. For example, suppose you want to know what is the cash inflows and outflows that are to be generated. What for we are trying to know? We want to try whether to understand whether the company is generating about whether there is a cash balance or that is a deficit condition or a surplus condition. So this cash budget helps us in understanding or estimating the inflows and outflows over the future period, which helps in planning. Now, why we prepare this cash budget? So first point is that we are going for estimating the cash requirement. So we want to know, suppose for example, there is an expenditure of say 10,000 rupees. For example, a parent want to buy the books for the child. Now the expenditure is say for example 5,000 rupees. So when uh, this is an estimate that this is the cash outflow that has to be generated or the income that has to be shown, the cash which he has to go for. So for what are the inflows, that is which will be equated to this outflow. So so first step of our understanding of this particular thing is we want to estimate the cash flows, that is what are the inflows and what are the outflows. Now planning short term finance planning. So the second important point that we this cash budget helps us in, it's in short term finance planning. Next one is scheduling payments in respect of acquiring capital goods. So the third important point why we have to prepare cash budget is we are going to schedule the payments. That is when you are receiving the amount, when you are going to pay the amount. Okay. Next, planning and phasing the purchase of raw materials. So once you are having the estimate of your inflows, that is how much of cash you are going to hold, then you can automatically go for planning for purchase of the products, especially with respect to raw materials, which become the core material, which will be helpful for the production process. Next one, evolving and implementing the credit policies. So here the fifth important point is that we have to understand that based on the estimation of our cash flows, we are going to go for the credit policies. That is when you are getting the material from the raw materials from the supplier, when you are going to pay him, or when you are giving the schedule for your debtors, that is when you are having credit sales, when you are generating the debtors, that is when your debtors are going to pay you. Okay. Then these all things will help you in framing your credit policies. Now the last one is checking and verifying the accuracy of long-term cash forecasting. So this not only helps in short-term financing planning, but also it helps in long-term cash forecasting. Okay, so the main purpose of preparing cash budget is to predict the cash flows over a given period of time and to determine whether at any point of time there is likely to be a surplus or a deficit of cash. So why we are preparing this estimate? We want to know what is the surplus or deficit of cash that may arise after meeting the required payments. Now in preparation of cash budget, we are having two steps. That is, first one is selection of the period of time, that is planning horizon. Second one is selection of factor that has bearing on cash flows. So let us see in detail. So step 1, we are going to select the period of time. So generally when we are selecting the period of time, cash budget, we are going to see the estimate, that is at a particular position in future whether you are having cash surplus or deficit, so as to whether you can go for investment planning or financial planning or whatever the thing we want to do. Okay, so there are no fixed rules for preparation. So cash budget, as we have for financial statements, we don't have any specific rules that have been fixed for preparation. So it differs from firm to firm. Basically the factor that is taken into consideration is the size of the firm. Okay, so it should not be too short or too long. So when it is too short, what is the thing you see is that the important events cannot be accounted properly. If it is too long, the estimate may go wrong or it can be inaccurate. Now the cash budget is basically determined on the basis of situation and necessity. So when you are having more of cash flows, or when you require, that is seasonal requirements will be there, or business cycle requirements will be there, all these things will be taken into consideration when they are preparing the cash budget. Now for example, if you can see, the firm has, if the firm is having seasonal variations, that is the firm is a seasonal firm. For example, you can take umbrellas, you can take ice creams, all these things are seasonal industries. So wherein the type of budget that will be prepared is on the basis of monthly basis. Now if there is a more of market, or the nature of the firm is more fluctuating, then they may go for daily or weekly budget. If the cash flows are more stable in nature, then they go for longer periods of cash budget. Now step 2, we are going to select the factor that has bearing on the cash flows. Now if you see, we are having two broad categories here, that is operating and financial. Operating means, operating cash flows means generally it is involved with the operating cycle, that is how you are converting your raw materials into sales, that is cash to cash, that is cash is converted to raw materials, raw materials is processed, work in progress, then you have finished goods, then it goes for the sales, then it goes for the debtors, then it goes for the cash, that is realization of cash. So generally we talk about the operating cycle here when we are telling about the operating cash flows. So here we have both the things, that is inflows and outflows, so which include cash sales, collection of account receivables and disposal of fixed assets. Those are inflows. Outflows will be bills payable, purchase of raw material, wages, factory expenses and all these things. So when we are talking about the second important category, that is financial cash flows, generally it talks about the inflows, that is loans, borrowings, security sales, dividend received, etc. When we are talking about financial cash outflows, we are talking about the redemption of loans, that is repayment. We are going for the redemption, repurchase of shares, income tax payments. This is about the second category. So we are taking two steps. Step 1, we are taking into consideration the cycle. The second one, we are taking into consideration the broad categories, that is operating and financial cash flows. Now the budget, when you are preparing the cash budget, mainly it comprises of three components. So what are these? First thing is, we have the opening balance, then we have the receipt of cash, then we have the payments of cash. So when we are, so the main thing is that we want to see the cash inflows, that is receipt of cash, and payment is cash outflows. So difference of this will tell you about whether the condition, that is the position, the cash position is surplus or deficit. So generally it is prepared for here the that is 3 months of period. So we take this is an example format. So we have taken January, February, March. So let us see one problem. So here the problem is given like this: prepare cash budget for the 3 months ending 30th June 2019. 2019 from the following information. So here they have given the details, that is February, March, April, May, June. Now the period that we have to calculate is 3 months. So 3 months, that is ending at June. So we start from June, May, April, that is 3 months we are going to prepare. So the data is given from February to June. Okay. So what is given here? Sales, materials, wages and overheads. So they have given the cash flows. If you see the sales, it is the inflow. If it is material, wages and overheads, this is outflow. Okay. So here they have given some additional information. So what are these things is credit terms. The first one is credit terms, that is sales debtors. So here 10% of sales are on cash, that is suppose you take 14,000 as the amount. In this 10% of sales will be cash sales. That means remaining 90% goes with the credit sales. Now how this money is realized, that is cash inflow, that is in the given month you will realize 10%. Following, that is what they have given, 50% of credit sales are collected next month. That means if 10% of, suppose you take 14,000 in the month of February, 10% is collected in February, 50% is collected in, 50% of the remaining amount is collected in March, and the balance in the following month, that is in April. That is, here the credit policy is like this. If the February sales will be realized completely in the month of April, that is 10% will be realized in that particular month, 50% of the remaining will be realized in the next following month, that is March, and the following month the balance will be realized, that is in the month of April. Okay. Next, creditors, it is with respect to the suppliers, that is we have purchased the raw material, material corresponds to the suppliers. Okay. So here it goes for the 2 months period, that means February amount, material amount, that is 9,600 will be paid in the month of April. Okay. So next, wages, only 1/4 of the amount will be paid in the current month, remaining, that is 25% will be paid in the given month, and remaining 75% will be followed in the next month. Okay. Next, overheads, it is half month, that is in the month, in the given month it will be half, 50% will be taken, and in the following month 50% will be taken. Now they have given cash and bank balance as on 1st April 2019 is expected to be rupees 6,000. Okay. That is, they have given the opening balance. They have given other information also, that the company is going for installation of machinery in February 2019 at a cost of rupees 96,000. So here the monthly installment of rupees 2,000 is payable from April onwards. So they have installed the machinery in February, but the payment is going in the from the month of April. Now next one is dividend at 5% on preference share capital of rupees 20,000 will be payable on May. The same is paid in 1st June. So it is the preference share that the company has issued. Since the dividend is payable, so it is a preference dividend of 5% should be paid on rupees 20,000. Next, advance to be received for the sale of vehicle is rupees 9,000 in June. So this is also received, so it is for sale of vehicle, so it will be the cash inflow. So next one is dividend from investment amounting to rupees 1,000 are expected to be received in June. So we have purchased shares of some other company where we are expecting a dividend payment of 1,000 which will be realized in month of June. Finally, last one, income tax, that is advance we are paying in the month of June, that is 2,000. This is again outflow. So here the important thing that you have to remember is, first thing is you have to understand very clearly what are your receipts and what are your payments. Okay, so let us see the working. So here this is the question. So we will start with the opening balance. Now I have given the format here. So we see that cash and bank balance as on 1st April is 2019 and is expected to be rupees 6,000. So we are writing opening balance. So we have to prepare for April, May, June. So here opening balance is 6,000 that we are writing in the month of April, since it is given 1st April 2019. Now next one is sales. So if you see the sales component here, it is a receipt of cash. So here what they have given, sales or debtors, 10% of sales are on cash, 50% of the credit sales are collected next month, and the balance is in the following month. So I have done the working here. You can see the working note 1. Sales first month is 10%, next it is 50%, next it is the balance. So if you take the this particular thing, February month, so this February month is 14,000, 10% of it is 1400, so remaining you have 12,600. In that 50% is 6,300, followed by the balance, that is 6,300 in the month of April. So if you see the credit sales here, it will be realized in the third month. So similarly next one for the month of March. So the second row you can see 10% 1500, that is realized in the same month. Then 50% 6750, 6750. Now April 16,000, 10% is 1600, 50% is 7,200, 7,200. Okay. Now 17,000 you have for the month of May, it is 1,700. The remaining amount 50%, you got 7,650, balance is 7,650. Now June it is 18,000, so we have written 1,800, 10%, 8,100, that is 50% of the balance after taking out 1,800 from 18,000. Okay, now we make the total. So hope you are understanding what we are doing here. We are just writing what they have given the information, that we are putting in terms of figures. So we take the total, February 1,400, March it is 7,800. So you may get the doubt why I didn't write the further, because we are preparing for only April, May, June. I am not writing the further here for the month of June, because August you will again get 8,100, this amount. So we are considering only 3 months, so we are preparing this. So the bold letters tell you what is the cash inflows that are generated for these 3 months, that is April, May, June. So we have written 14,650, 15,650, 16,650. Now next one, they have said creditors, suppliers 2 months. So if you can see, in the month of February we got the material of 9,600. When we are going to pay it after 2 months, so we are leaving February, March and paying it in the month of April. Now March we have got the material of 9,000, which we are paying in the month of May. Okay, so similarly 9,200 for June and 10,000 for July. Okay, so here we are writing, since it is a payment, we are writing in the payment column, that is payment of cash. So it is 9,600 for April, May it is 9,000, June it is 9,200. Now next one is wages 1/4 month. So here wages for the month of February it is given as 3,000. So 1/4 is paid. So it is 750. Then 3/4 will be paid in the March, that is 2,250, that is 75% of, or you can write 3/4 into 3000, you will get 2250. So similarly for the month of March, the same thing, 750 is paid in March. April it is 2250. Now for April it is 900, 2700. Similarly we do, finally we add up the columns. So 750 is paid in the month of February towards wages. In March we are paying 3000, in April we are paying 3150, May we are paying 3500, and June we are paying 3900, and July we are paying 4500. Okay, so we are considering April, May, June, so we are taking only these values. Okay, so we are writing in the payment of cash because it is outflow. Now overheads, similarly the same thing, that is they have given half month. So here February 1700, so we are dividing half of it, that is 850 and 850. So 850 is realized in the same month, that is payment is done, and following month it is done with 850. Okay, so March it is 950, 950, April 1000, okay, like that we have done. So we have taken the total column wise, that is 850 is paid towards overheads in the month of February, 1800 in the month of March, 1950 in the month of April, May 2100, 2250 in June, 1150 in July. So we, since it is a payment expense, we are writing in payment of cash, that is cash outflow. Now coming to the other information, you see that machinery will be installed in the month of February at the cost of rupees 96,000. The monthly installment of rupees 2,000 is payable from April onwards. So since they have said April onwards, every month we have to pay 2,000. So installment on machinery we are paying every month 2,000 from April. Okay, next we are going to pay the dividend. What they have given, dividend at 5% on preference share capital of rupees 20,000 will be payable on May. The same is paid in 1st June. So only in 1st June we are going to pay the amount, that is 1,000 rupees. So next is advance to be received for sale of vehicle rupees 9,000 in June. So it is a receipt. So receipt of cash. So we are writing in this column, that is 9,000 in receipt of cash, that is cash inflow. Next we have dividends from investment amounting rupees 1,000 are expected to be received in June. So here we are receiving dividend amount. So that is 1,000 rupees. So we are writing here dividend 1,000 in receipt of cash. Last one, income tax is to be paid in the month of June, that is rupees 2,000. So we are in the month of June we are paying 2,000. So this is the information. So it is a cash outflow, so we are writing it in payment of cash in with amount 2,000. Now let us see the further working. Since all the information is been done, now we have to do the further step. So what we do is, first we take the sum of all the receipts. So opening balance plus the sales, there are no dividends and no advance, so it is coming as 20,650. Now payment, we take the total of the payment to the creditors, payment of wages, overheads, installment, all these put together, it is coming as 16,700 in the month of April. Now we have to subtract A minus B, that is total receipts minus total payments. So we see here it is a positive figure, that is 3,950. So the closing balance is a surplus condition, that is 3950. so this is for the month of April, that is 30th April 2019. Now this becomes the opening balance of 1st May 2019. So that is the reason why we are writing here 3950. Now again we do the same step. So for the month of May, we add up the column, that is opening balance 3950 plus the sales 15,650, you get 19,600. Now in payments, this is the total receipts of cash. Payment of cash, you will get 16,600. Now you take the closing balance 19,600 minus 16,600, you get the closing balance of 3,000. So there is a surplus condition and the position is surplus. Now this being the closing balance, that is 31st May 2019 is the closing balance, which becomes the opening balance of June 1st 2019. So we are writing 3,000 over here. So we take the final column. So here opening balance is 3,000. So you take the total of all the receipts, it comes out to be 29,650, and we take the total of total payments of cash, that becomes 20,350. Take the difference, you will get 9,300. So June 30th we are having a surplus position or a surplus cash position. Okay, hope you have understood the problem. So finally we have this final statement of the cash position, that is the prediction is forecast is, that is April month 30th April you are having a surplus position of 3,950. Then in the May you are having 3,000, and finally in the month of June 9,300. So this particular information is helpful for planning the cash position. This cash position will help in understanding what are the additional cash outflows that can be taken up during a particular month. Okay, right.